Weinstein, who's come under a lot of
I mean, there's been a lot of sexual predators over. Well, I guess over the past, say, 40, 50... But obviously there's... But like, what I mean is, the news has come to light in the past, say, I don't know, 5, 10 years?
Yeah.
About all these people that have done it.
Yeah, and there's a long list.
I've got no real foothold on who's worse than who.
Well, no,
who's been worse than
So my opinion on that comment alone is all of them are equally as bad as each other, because the first time you do it is just as bad as the 100th time you've done it.
Yeah, kind of agree with that. Yes, they're horrendous either way.
Some of them have just got away with it.
They are completely disgusting. But my point is, if you're Weinstein, who is abusing their power for young actresses to get into a film, that is completely different than Jimmy Savile or Gary Glitter, who are literally like
being predators
on very young boys and girls.
Yeah, and those sort of weren't even people...
I would personally say that is worse than saying to someone, right, here's the film, but you've got to sleep with me.
I wouldn't say that's worse, I'd say that's even worse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Like...
I'm not... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, they're both bad, but this is even worse. It's
so,
kind of what...
One question I've got for you around this Weinstein fella is... Obviously, all these allegations come out, and they've come back into the press recently because the court case has started.
It's not just a random...
It's not a random topic. It's come back into the news recently because his court case has started, and actresses, young and old, are now coming to the frame and
there's a Sopranos actress that's come out.
Yeah,
as the latest.
They're all kind of in court now. There's a lot of quite famous ones, actually, when I did a bit of research into it. But what I wanted to ask you was this. Knowing what he's done, does it make you like or dislike, not like, it would never make you like, does it make you dislike his films because of what's happened? So
right, so if you were to say to me, here's a film that's really good, but he directed it or produced it, whatever, would you still watch it, is your question?
Yeah.
That's fair. Right, the answer should be... I guess the answer should be...
There's one good answer
no.
to this, and I'll give you that in a minute. Go on.
The answer should be no.
Right.
However, you think, like, the allegations against Kevin Spacey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're true. I assume that they are. I don't know. But when I watched House of Cards, before I knew about these allegations...
Yeah.
It was it's very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really enjoyed it. You then hear about it. I then watched it and I was a bit like, yeah, this is still good, but I just feel a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If I was given the choice knowing, I would be like, well, I would probably look into it and say, right, how good is it? Is it actually worth... Because if it's like the best film in history... Would you not watch it just because of one person?
Okay, do you like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I guess. But then I watched that before. Was he involved in that?
Yeah.
Right, so I watched that.
I mean, I've been telling people Lord of the Rings are shit for like years before this even started, so...
Of course you have.
I hate Lord of the Rings, mate. It's so fucking boring.
To be fair...
Goes on far too long.
I watched it when it first came out, or like...
Around the time.
Yeah. When I would have been... the first one was 2002, 3?
Yeah.
So it would have been 7. So probably would have watched them when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
And like watched them all. Thing is, that's a different film because they're quite like... It's like Star Wars. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but I feel like I would watch them because they're just one of those films that you kind of have to watch.
Yeah. So the other ones I've got Kill Bill.
See, I think I've only seen that brief.
I mean, I've seen
heard it's
that
a very
once
good
a long
film,
time ago.
But
Inglorious Bastards was average, but like Silver Lining Playbook, Goodwill,
Django Unchained. That's an unreal film.
Django Unchained, like for older
Would I watch
generations,
it?
Goodwill Hunting.
I would probably watch Django again.
Yeah. So I've got an answer to this. Like Scream, you've got King's Speech,
what was your correct answer?
Silver Linings Playbook.
What was your correct answer?
So my correct answer is this. Now, I've got a little bit of a history with this topic, not in the sense that I'm a sexual predator, but in the sense that I have enjoyed an art form that is then...
Where are you going with this?
Enjoyed an art form.
Oh my god. Right, finish your sentence before you're absolutely
cancelled
for life.
Enjoyed an art form which was then ruined because the person who created it came out to be something that you would not agree with. So
right.
I was at
I'm
Reading.
so happy you finished that. Christ alive.
I was at Reading Festival, and the last band that I went to see were. This is my first ever Reading.
Yeah.
I've been to like 3, 4 now, but the first one I ever went to. Last band I went to see. The last song played was called "Last Train Home." It was what at the time. Came home and it's all I was talking about. I was like, that was the best moment in my life. Musically, was brilliant. That band were called Lost Prophets, and the lead singer 2 weeks later came out to be a paedophile.
Yeah.
And then instantly, I could not listen to that music anymore.
Band?
They were the Welsh band, yeah. Stand on the rooftops, everybody's screaming.
Yeah, well, what's like the biggest? Is that the biggest song they've
Rooftops
done?
is probably the biggest one. Last Train Home you might have heard of.
Yeah, maybe.
But let's face it, we don't listen to their music anymore because
that's
he came
kind
out
of different though.
and he's. But hold on, this is where it's not different because he's the lead singer.
Like that particular example, because Lost Prophets are probably more UK listener based. Say Michael Jackson, for example, who's like internationally known.
Yeah.
People would definitely still listen to his music.
Yeah.
100%.
I still do.
Yeah.
I still rate Michael Jackson. I still love Michael
There's
Jackson.
supposedly these allegations. Well, I guess that I don't know. I'm not.
For me,
into
that whole Michael Jackson story, I kind of just blanked in my mind because of how much how much I loved his music. So when all that came out, I was like, I don't think I want to listen and watch this.
Would you? Yeah. So
anyway,
the question is, would you watch, listen, or whatever to something just because of something that person has done? And I guess the question is, it depends.
It depends because
I wouldn't say no blankly.
No, because with the music, the reason I gave that example is because it's a band of 3 or 4 members, and he's the lead singer. That in my head is like fucking right there. Every time you listen to that music, his voice is there, which makes me hate that music. That band, the final members went to try and start something new, and they couldn't get it off the ground just because that was still hanging over their head. However, if I'm watching a film, let's say I'm a massive fan of Lord of the Rings, I watch that film.
Django Unchained, because you probably enjoy that film more than Lord of the Rings.
True, but I can only think of the actors' names in Lord of the Rings. So I'm looking at. Alright, James Fox. Okay, Django. I'm watching Django. Why have you done that? I'm watching Django and I see Jamie Foxx. I'm seeing Jamie Foxx and the rest of that cast.
Yeah.
I am in that film.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I like him. In that film, there is more than one person that has contributed to that film. In fact, there is hundreds of people that have contributed to the making of that film.
But then you could
which
say,
makes me
the
be
music
happy
of
to
Lost
watch that.
Prophets, the band are all contributing.
Yeah, I know, but he's the voice you hear.
Okay, so what about you still listen to Michael Jackson?
Yeah, because I like him. that I'm not fighting that one. I love Michael Jackson, and I'm avoiding the fact that he's been told by everyone he's a kiddie fiddler according to several different sources. I just blanked that out
about
because Man in the Mirror.
Far too long.
So okay. So basically,
fair.
people use their power to get what they want.